Rob, the big news, Jim Harbaugh to the Chargers now as their head coach. Have any numbers? 5 years. Have the numbers been released? Rob G, salary? Not yet.
You know what? And the Chargers, Chris, notoriously cheap. So it'll be interesting. They had to come to bat. Like, he's coming off a national championship, all that other stuff. I think they finally gave in. You know what I mean? Instead of going bargain basement, and figured like this is our opportunity. You gotta get a fan base, Chris, in Los Angeles. They got this beautiful stadium. They have no fan base.
That's a good question. And we can, get Rob G in here as well. You're out there in LA. We know it's Lakers and Dodgers.
That's it.
One,
I'm just right. That's tier one. And then everybody else is below that.
The Rams.
Rob G, is USC, would they be right under that, Dodgers, Lakers?
No, when USC at their heyday, the Pete Carroll, they were probably threatening for a top 2 spot. But outside of that, no, it's Lakers, Dodgers, a huge Grand Canyon-sized gap, and then the Rams.
And then the rest, yeah.
And the Rams, you remember when they won the Super Bowl, Rob, the crowd was so small, it was just small.
It was so small that I heard a woman in the crowd say,
They shared fries.
They shared fries. There you go, Rob G. Rob G doesn't want Alex. Rob G said my stand-up was blue. He was embarrassed, right, Rob G?
Wow.
No, it was blue.
I was concerned about your future in media, Rob. Not even just radio, media, period.
I mean, somebody could have been taping.
All we needed was a cell phone video to be leaked.
People were looking at it. I'm sure people were videotaping it on the phone.
It hasn't been leaked, though. I hope
that bad boy.
I'm saving my copy personally for like a year from now.
Right, just in case.
Yeah.
You better fly right. But they you got the Rams, who are good. I mean, they were good this year. They made the playoffs. Next year, they had a lot of young players. If Stafford's healthy, they'll probably be pretty good. I mean, do you guys see the Chargers? Harbaugh is obviously a big name. They do have a good team. Do you guys see them gaining some type of fan base here?
I think they can. I think they can, because now you got to pay attention. They do have a coach, Chris, that you got to pay attention to. They got a quarterback who's big and strong and got a great arm and all this, and has been disappointing, especially this past year. So you got those things going for you. And if Harbaugh can get them turned, the place, Chris, have you gone to SoFi? I don't even know.
I've seen the outside. I know.
Right, Chris, it's a show place. I mean, it's a show place. So there are people who, if they can turn it around, they don't look at it as them as like the team from San Diego and nobody cares, and they don't have they have a terrible coach and and all that other kind of stuff. They can start winning quickly. Jim Harbaugh had a quick turnaround in San Francisco. Chris, I think they can make the playoffs next year.
I mean, I was in the minority for picking them to miss it this year. Did you pick them to make it this year?
I picked them to make it.
Yeah, I mean, most people picked them to make the playoffs this year. So that's
why I didn't believe in the coach, though. Correct?
No, you're right. That's why I didn't pick them for that reason. But I think, Rob, that if they don't make the playoffs, it is a major disappointment. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Oh, I agree. With the stuff that he's coming, this ain't a rebuild. This is a retool and get this thing together. I'm with you.
I mean, the one negative for him is that you're in the same division with Kansas City. But, hey, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. So
right, at some point, right.
Yeah. Rob, let's go to the big game. I mean, both big games this weekend. But I want to ask you, I want to see, because you said I wasn't on this show when you gave props to Detroit. Now, you said beginning of the year that, did you pick the Lions to make the playoffs?
No.
Okay. You said at the beginning of the year.
Rob, hold on, Rob G. I'm trying to remember.
You probably did.
I might have, but I didn't pick them to win the division. Remember, I picked Minnesota to win the division.
Right.
I think I might have picked them to make the playoffs.
If you got that, Rob G, check that out.
If you remember,
I got it right here.
Okay, what'd I say?
Rob Parker in the NFC had the Seahawks, Falcons, Vikings, Cowboys, Niners, Eagles, Bears. So no Lions.
No Lions.
That was a tough one for you, Rob. I think what'd you get, 3 of them? Eagles, Cowboys, and one more in there? Packers? Did you say
49ers.
Packers?
I didn't have the Packers.
Oh, Eagles, Cowboys, 49ers, right.
Right.
So you said if the Lions win one playoff game, I don't know if it was you believe, but this is the question
I said I'll give them credit. I said I'll give them credit. Like for me to believe that something different was happening, because my point was I was there when they won 11 games, when they won 11 games with Jim Caldwell, Chris, you know what I mean, and Ndamukong Suh. So I was like, stop acting like this has never happened. Right. They won 12, but they won 11.
Good seasons, right?
And that was my point, that they went to the playoffs 3 times with Stafford. They were 0-3 in those years. So my point was, don't act like they've never made the playoffs. It's about, do they do something different? Do they win a postseason game, which they did, and they won a second one? I wrote their season. I expect them to lose to the 49ers in San Francisco on Sunday. I do. But have they had a very good season regardless? Yes, they have. If they get to the Super Bowl, it's an exceptional season, one that I could have never imagined. But do I expect them to win? No. Does that take away what they did? No, it doesn't. Because I did not believe that they would be 2 wins deep and even having a chance to sniff the Super Bowl. Not this year.
So would you would say they're not SOL, same old Lions?
Yes, they're not SOL because the SOL Lions couldn't win a playoff game. They only won one in January of 1992, Chris, right? When that playoff game, 1992.
92.
Right? It was the 91 season that they were good.
91, they actually got to the conference championship.
Right? Yeah. But I'm saying since 91.
The 93 seasons when they made it 93 straight years. 93,
right. That's when they were
95.
right. That's when they were pretty good. Right. So that was it. But no. I mean, to be able to win playoff games, you can't poo-poo that. It's so hard. And here's the other thing. Like, people think that it's automatic. Like, this is a window for them. And we'll talk about this after, whatever, going forward. I don't want to talk about it now, but after going forward, you can't assume that it's just going to be, oh, yeah, we'll go next year. The
NFL is year to year.
Right.
I mean, there are a few teams, but, yeah, it's year to year.
But I'm just saying.
And I think they will. We're looking at them, let's assume they lose to the Niners, because I agree with you. I think they will. I mean, I think they're making the playoffs next year, and I think they're going to be like right now, Rob. And we're not holding each other to anything we say now about next season. But right now, I would feel like the 4 best teams in the NFC would be not in this order: Philadelphia, San Francisco, Detroit, Green Bay.
See, here's my issue though. Green Bay is on the uptick. Chicago, if they get Caleb Williams, Chris.
Yeah, but you said right away.
We just saw C.J. Stroud. I'm just.
I mean,
all I'm saying is the division.
I mean, it's possible.
All I'm saying is the division gets better, not the way it came in this year.
If the Vikings lose Kirk Cousins,
right?
Like Detroit is legit, right? Like
I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying I don't think it's automatic they win the division next year. Green Bay could win the division.
Yeah, I agree. I think Green Bay should be tough next year. So I agree, but I'm just talking about I think they'll be a playoff team, and I think they'll be a contender. But Rob, I don't look now. I'm picking San Francisco, but I don't look at San Francisco, Detroit the way I and most people looked at San Francisco, Green Bay. Now, we were all wrong. Green Bay actually gave them a great game and almost beat them. But going into that game, I think the feeling was there's no way Green Bay's beating them. I don't feel that way about Detroit. Like, there's a formula for Detroit to win this game. They're great against the run. If they stop the run, And now, look, I think Brock Purdy can deliver, but make him show you. If I'm Detroit, I'm like, all right, we gonna shut down y'all run, and now you're going to have to throw the ball to beat us.
Well, here's the problem, though.
And then offensively, Detroit got a lot. They got a great run game, and we saw Green Bay have success against San Francisco in the run, and they can throw it. And so, San Francisco didn't get any pressure on Jordan Love either. Well, so I'm just saying, again, I think the Niners win, but I'm saying this wouldn't be an absolute shocker to me if Detroit won.
Here's why I think if I'm a Lions fan, I'm scared. Baker Mayfield threw on that secondary, and they give up a lot of yards in the air.
They're one of the worst in the league in
the league. And I'm just saying, like, this is Brock Purdy's. We've seen him blow out some good teams, right? Yep. When they get the ball. And if they can, that secondary's scary. And you could get big plays on them. Baker had 349 on them, right? At home.
Well, and Stafford had like 360 or something.
Chris, that's what I'm saying. They just failed in the red zone.
Right.
That's the Rams lost by a point, and they were 0 for 3 in the red zone. Like that's what lost the game. They had to take close in field goals, right?
Yep. Nah, I agree with you on that. And like I said, that's why I'm one reason I'm picking the Niners. But I think this is going to be a pretty good game and that Detroit has a shot.